Hi, this is Francisco Pijan from vitalcoaching.com. We are talking about spiritual evolution or spiritual power or spiritual development. And the topic for this video is truth. What is it? I mean, when you see people talking about truth, about the absolute, about these absolute statements that they have in their lives, these absolute values, convictions, and very often it leads to some form of conflict because different people have different truths, right? So the question is, what do you do with that? Suppose that you are in a situation where you are conflicting with other beliefs or other religions or other systems, right? What do you do with it? Imagine that somebody comes to you and says, this is the truth. If you don't follow me, if you don't work with this reality, you are not going to heaven, or you are not going to paradise, you are not going to be saved. I mean, what do you do with that, really? That's the question I would like to answer in this video. What I would like to give you here is only my interpretation, okay? It's my opinion, and you don't have to adhere to it. If you have a different opinion, that's fine. That's a good starting point, right? It's a starting point of respect. It means that if you don't believe what I'm saying, it doesn't mean that I'm going to stop respecting you. The respect that you get from me is totally granted, whether you adhere to my opinions or not. Okay, that's the first place. It is to start with. It's a place of respect. Now, when we talk about truth, here is a way of looking at it that really helps me, and maybe that's something that you can look at and realize, yeah, this makes sense. Maybe that's something that can help you in the future. Okay, for me, truth is a reality. It's an absolute thing. Right? It's something which is out there in me, in everybody. And what I do when I try to describe truth is I'm already reducing something which is much vaster than myself to just words. Now, a word is a simple approximation of reality. A word is not the essence. It's not the essence that I'm talking about, right? If I use your name, for instance, you are called Petra or Janine, okay, I use that name does not express who you are. It expresses only a small fraction of the reality that you are, of your personality. It expresses only a tiny little fraction. And when I use words to describe truth, I'm reducing this absolute reality to something which is very small, tiny, just a word, just a concept, and this concept will not summarize something which is much vaster than this word. Okay, let's take another example. For instance, you have this beautiful landscape, right? You are somewhere next to the sea, the waves are crashing there, and you see these cliffs, and you decide to make a painting of it. The painting that you make of this reality, of this landscape, is a very small fraction of what this landscape is about. If you connect with the full beauty of that landscape, the expression is going to be much vaster, much bigger than the painting that you made of that landscape. The landscape is a way of keeping a small memory of that experience that you had there, watching the beauty of this landscape. But when you look at the painting itself, the painting summarizes, in an incomplete way what you experienced there. So this landscape itself is your perception of reality through the filter of your mind, through the filter of your own experience. Okay, it's an approximation. If somebody would look at the same landscape, suppose that instead of being an artist, you are a scientist, you're going to look at it at this landscape and describe the type of flowers, you are going to describe the type of rocks, do a scientific attempt to describe this from a rational perspective and scientific analysis. So it's going to be a very different description that you give from the same landscape. These are two persons, right? You have an artist, you have a scientist, maybe you have a mystic who comes and looks at the landscape and will perceive a totally different type of beauty from the same landscape. And guess what? The landscape is always the same. It's not a different landscape. It's just different people watching at the same reality from different perceptions. So your senses are limited. The moment you experience reality through the filter of your senses, you're already filtering reality and only grabbing a small fraction of what this reality is about. Okay? I mean, this is just a philosophical idea. That's something that I experienced and something that I wanted to share with you today. Hope you enjoy and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.